Hey, I'm Tabitha.
And I'm Sarah.
We're the Wine Moms Podcast,
where we talk about the frantics, funnies, and fails of parenting.
We're so glad you're here.
Welcome to our village.
Cheers, mamas.
Cheers, cheers.
Oh, Sarah. What are we drinking?
All the wine.
I just need all of it. I'm tired. Is it Christmas break yet?
Yeah, is it right? We have your, cheers to that. We have your pretty, cork again.
I know. Mine's not corked. Did you get a cork?
Neither is mine.
Yeah. BS.
It should have been a pretty cork. It should have been that pretty apothic cork with the pretty A and the vines and the...
It's still on my desk, that one.
No.
Because it is pretty. I'm going to be honest. I think I like the apothic red more.
Yes.
Okay. So we're both there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying the apothic rosé.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's my favorite rosé so far.
No, I like the cupcake more, which is saying something.
Yeah.
You know? Me too. But yeah, this one, I love what they write on their bottles. I think that's my favorite thing of apothic. It says, peer into the secret garden. Beyond the veiled gate, among pale petals, lies a refreshing blend. Anywho.
It sounds lovely.
I know. Strawberry, watermelon, and a hint of raspberry.
See, I feel like I get more raspberry and even some citrus in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't taste strawberry.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, the wateriness of I do feel the watermelon.
Yeah. You
feel it, but, watermelon in general doesn't have much flavor, except for artificial watermelon. But, yeah, I don't know. Will I drink it? Yes, because it's a twist top. It's easy.
Sad about the cork, not sad about the twist top. It's all right.
It's pretty bad when I'm not a big fan of apothic, though I do like the red. And I just want to drink all of the bottles so that I can have a cute, glass jar filled with their corks. Because they're just so adorable. And that's not a wino. I don't know what is.
Cute cork life. Woo!
Also, if anyone wants to know, I don't have a wine glass tonight. I have a coffee cup, and that says, let's just say this is coffee, because I didn't feel like short girl reaching for my wine glasses, so don't judge. I'm not even short. Just they're really high up.
No, you're very short. It's okay, though.
Oh, my God. Coming from the almost 6 foot tall person. Y'all, I'm married into a tall family. I'm 5'6.5".
I mean, some people might say that's normal, but...
It is. I looked it up because I was so tired. It's normal.
Not where we're concerned. That's not normal.
Not the Staley family. No. Y'all's family are just behemothly tall people. Even your husband's tall. Though, my kids are tall.
Oh, yeah. They bypass you by the time they're double digits.
Yeah, Kylie's at my shoulders.
Yeah.
She's 10. She's taller than Parker was at that age, so I am screwed. She may be I think Jasper will be the tallest, but she'll be up there with you. Because Parker's taller than you.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's gigantic.
Yeah, he's just like an inch shorter than his daddy. Just maybe an inch. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Kylie may be the 6-footer. She may be.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Jeans.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, speaking of kids, I made them a hot chocolate bar.
Okay.
A hot chocolate bar.
You're brave.
Because, Kylie wouldn't stop talking about the hot chocolate bar because I was watching decorating videos on YouTube because I have no life. All the people are making hot chocolate bars. So, I don't know if you've seen my story. I posted it yesterday. I think it's cute.
Yeah, definitely.
it'll be nice when we do our illumination night. You know, we could pack up our hot chocolate stuff and go and sit in the car looking at lights, but it's extra. It's bougie. Let's just be
Well, what's the new trend? There's I'm gonna butcher the name, the charcuterie boards.
I think I've heard of it. What are they?
Okay, no, they're the boards that you put just random snacks on, and they're basically snacks that complement one another in a different way. So you could put like crackers and cheeses and grapes and olives.
Oh my gosh.
Or you could put hot chocolate stuff like marshmallows and peppermints and things like that. And so people are making all these different versions, and they call them charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But, I mean, they look pretty. But it also looks like a lot of nonsense. Like, would I really eat all that stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you fill it full of stuff I'm going to eat.
Maybe for like a party, but...
Yeah. I mean, like, we did those. I mean... So we always had a Christmas Eve party. My aunt always hosted it at her house. And she'd have a board, but she'd have, like, basic meats and cheeses. And we would make... where you have a pickle and cream cheese and
That's
you
weird.
ham, you wrap them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And we'd have those on them and stuff like that. And so we had that, but then I'm looking at all these boards like, y'all are extra.
Yep. They've been popping up all over Pinterest, all over Facebook. People
So
go
it's
all
not
out.
a new thing. It's just people have to make it extra. Mm-hmm. Oh, this one has a whole block of mozzarella. That one looks delicious.
Oh, the cheese.
Yeah, I just want all the cheese. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I mean, my 4-year-old had so many meltdowns this week, and it's only Monday. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know she did have a funny, y'all. Oh my God. So I guess Congress is tabling the idea or discussing the idea, not tabling it, of decriminalizing marijuana as a country. So I was talking to Chris about it.
About time. Sorry.
and Veda from the other room, I don't know what she was thinking. There's no Moana food, or there's no food from Moana. And I was like, Moana? Marijuana. She got Moana from marijuana. I love her thought process, but it was just great.
She's spying on you.
She was spying hardcore.
Her ears are extra perky that day. Dang.
Everything I say comes out of her mouth. Like the other day, she goes, I was upset because I was like, I can't figure out what I want to put on the tree, the big tree. And they say, I let the kids decorate our big tree. It's a big mistake. Big. But, yeah, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'll go do this. And then she goes, Mom, you need to calm down and just think. And I was like, get out. Get out. Don't talk to me that way.
Amy likes to look at me and she'll say, Serious? Serious, Mom?
Oh, yeah. Kylie used to do that. Seriously? Seriously? Yes, seriously. Get out. Like, because kids just, they repeat everything you say. And sometimes they're a little bit better at it than other times.
Yeah, they throw your attitude back in your face and you're like, oh, so that's how I look.
That's what you see. Thanks.
I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I get so frustrated with Kylie when she's all sassy, and then I look at her and I'm like, it's like looking in a mirror. Mm-hmm. She's my kid. She is mine.
I know that's come out of my mouth.
Yeah, but then she also is the sarcastic like her father. And then
He's just terrible. He's not sarcastic. He's just terrible.
He's just sassy. He's our editor, so we should be nice.
Christopher!
Fart sounds in our podcast. Oh my God. So what was your weekend like?
Yeah. Well, big win on my part. I broke my couch.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just sat on it. I'm just... everyone's, we're all watching football, unfortunately, in the living room, and I just go and not even like hard. I just sit on the couch and it goes, boom. I'm like, what was that? I'm like, oh my God, I just moved the couch. And I'm like crying and laughing at the same time.
Oh no.
And my husband's just looking at me. His face is beet red. Like, he wants to say something, but he's like watching me, like judging me, like, can I say something? Will I die if I say something, or should I wait?
See, your brother would have just said something.
So I've been trying to couch shop, and tonight I unfortunately had to bring the children to the furniture store. And so I'm like giving them a pep talk. I'm like, don't, please be calm.
Be good humans.
Please be quiet. I'm going to find a couch for you to sit on. I'm going to give you my phone. We're going to watch Disney. We can play a game. They're like, okay, yeah. And the second we walk in, it's like their eyes glaze over and they see a Mario Kart racetrack. They're like, bing, 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 like running, jumping over things, hyenas, screaming, I win, you can't catch me. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Get out.
What?
I promised Disney.
So I'm like, trying to grab one kid, begging them, bribing them. You want McDonald's? Yeah. What do you want? Just please be good.
Right.
What do you
I will give you ice cream.
What do you think about this? Like, trying to distract them or direct them, and they're like sweaty and huffing and puffing because they're like running through the store. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? What is going on? Finally, we just left, and I asked my husband, I'm like, so did you see anything that you liked? And he just kind of looked at me like shell-shocked, like in silence. He absorbed nothing. His brain was just
We were
gone.
in the store. I just heard squawking.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know what happened. I don't know where we were at. I don't know what was going on. I'm like, okay, we'll just try again later.
Another day. Another day. Another try. Just look online. Just not
talk about this.
Set your game plan. You find them all online. You highlight, these are the couches, and you make a mad dash for each one. Do a quick squat, test it out, and then run to the counter, Carrying the kids under your arms while you run.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a fail and a win.
It is a fail and a win, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for a new couch.
That's the win.
But I'm not excited to shop for a new couch. And I'm not happy that my big ass broke the couch.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that. I don't know how I would feel about that. Right? Like, I've had a chair break on me before, like an office chair that was old. But your couch is old. You got that when you first moved in. So it's not like...
Yeah, I mean...
And your kids are pretty ruthless on it.
It wasn't very expensive. It wasn't like a super great couch to begin with, but...
Yeah, it was a cute couch, though.
Yeah. It's being propped up now by some pieces of wood. And it's probably going to be like that for a little while, but it's all right.
Oh, man. It'll be... I'll tell you, I have a couch from IKEA and a couch from Costco. I like my IKEA couch, but you don't have one close to you.
Or Costco.
I love both of them. They're both equally awesome. So, especially my IKEA one, because it was cheap. And so far, so good. I like cheap. I'm a fan of cheap. Which is why I got Costco and IKEA couches.
Right. They work.
Yeah, well, we had another IKEA couch. I wasn't a huge fan of after like a year. Because it is cheaper furniture, and you really figure that out after your kids body slam it several times. That's their thing. So, but y'all, our meat and potatoes today.
Yeah, what are we talking about today? Dun dun dun.
Homeschool. Public school. What do you do? What do you want to do? What was your idea? Did COVID change that? Because it certainly changed my mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know that homeschooling is on the rise? Even prior to COVID, homeschooling was on the rise all across the country, United States. And we have UK listeners. Hi, UK listeners. Yeah, which I thought was interesting. I don't know. I've looked
Their
into
schooling
it.
is completely different.
Yeah. I have a friend that taught in the UK. It's very different over there. Mm-hmm. They have more free play than we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on homeschooling? Like
homeschooling, which is not remote learning, like it is, but it's not homeschooling, like me being fully in charge of teaching my children sounds absolutely horrific. And not just for me, but for my kids, because dang, I don't know.
Yeah, I realized quickly I'm a hot mess.
Yeah, it's not. It would never work. And I don't know. I've never had super negative experiences with public school. I mean, there's a few things that I can see why parents would choose homeschooling. I feel like public school is different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So especially if you're one to move often, or if you're not familiar with the way your district grades, or if you don't like the way your district grades or anything, or curriculum, I could see why you'd maybe want to homeschool, because no two schools are the same, even within the district sometimes. No two schools are the same, no two teachers are the same. And I feel like that can be confusing.
My 10-year-old this year has had two different teachers. She was switched out of one class into another. A huge difference between the two. Just huge difference. Same grade, same curriculum, same remote learning. But no, polar opposite experience for her and for me. And crazy, after some issues we had in public schooling, I looked into homeschooling, both the kids. I assumed Kylie would do better just because she's a social creature in general. She can make friends wherever she goes, and she was in Girl Scouts at the time, and, blah, blah, blah. Parker's so antisocial. Like, the only social experience he gets is from school and sports. And, he couldn't be on the school sports teams if we put him in homeschooling. So that was a big no for me. And that's our district. I know districts are different, but that was our district's. I decided not to. That was 2 years ago, and then COVID hit, and I really found out that I am not a homeschool material. Because my 4-year-old, we have no curriculum for her from the school districts, and so it's all me, and I'm tired, man. And she just fights me tooth and nail. And then, my 10-year-old, I can't get her to get out of bed in the morning. So how am I supposed to keep her on her curriculum if she's like that? And then my 15-year-old just locks himself in his bedroom. So, yeah.
The curriculum's a big one. The reason why I don't think I'd ever be able to homeschool.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's programs out there that would give you curriculum, but even addressing some of it, or finding ways to keep engaging your child. I know it's my child, I should know, but I don't. I just don't have that innate teacher ability. My preschooler does remote learning. She's only 3, but she does it 30 minutes a day. And they just have spent the last month talking about boxes. And I will tell you what, I never in a million years would have ever have thought of a curriculum to talk about boxes for a month. And you'd be so surprised. She knows how many faces are on a box now, what sturdy boxes are, and what paper boxes and box factories, and it's crazy everything that they've learned. And I'm like, there's no way I would have been able to do that.
Different for all grades. I know a preschool curriculum. That's I used to do that. I was a preschool teacher. I know that. I can tell you how to educate a child in learning boxes and shapes and numbers and sign language, and I could have you teach your kids sign language, Spanish, and English all in the same thing, and have them know it by the end of the year. That's what I did. But 5th grade, high school, Jesus. Just, I'm looking at all of it. I try to look at it with the kids and my head just hurts. And then they switched to Common Core here in the Valley. Not a fan. Not a fan. So that's been fun.
Yeah, I feel like I have to learn everything to help my child.
I can help my high schooler with math, but I can't help my 10-year-old. What kind of garbage is that, right? It just blows my mind. Thankfully, most of the teachers are pretty chill, and as long as they have the correct answer, it's fine. How they get to it is how they get to it. Because this is her last year with Common Core. Then she goes on to pre-algebra and algebra, and it's gone. So, yeah, her last 2 years of elementary school was Common Core math. So, anyways, don't get me on that with public schools. Blech.
Yeah, but, I mean, public schools have their pros, though. I mean, the whole socialization. I like the schedule. I know a lot of people are opposite with that. They like homeschool because you can make your own schedule, or they feel like, children shouldn't be in school for 10 hours a day. But I'm kind of opposite. I like that my child would have a daily schedule. And I guess it just kind of creates that idea of responsibility in your child, and that I feel like, children gradually need to get to, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'm a fan of the schedule. I was always a fan of half days for 2nd grade and under. I think that's a good mindset for them, or more activity based for those ages, just because their brains are so active. I had a kindergarten teacher tell me that my son had ADD when he was 5 because he was too active. My son that just sits in front of the TV, or he can just sit in a corner not looking at anything, doesn't get distracted. That he had ADD because he was too excited. I was like, he's a 5-year-old boy.
Give him a few minutes every so often to stand up, get the wiggles out. That's what the wiggles say. Get the wiggles out.
Yeah, I did it with my Girl Scout troop. We would have, I guess PSA. I was Girl Scout troop leader. We'd have our troop meetings after school. I'm sorry, you have a whole group of girls who just got out of school. Y'all go dance. Do some jumping jacks, move. I even took my kids on hikes. It was just, because they were just sitting at a desk all day long, and, that was, for me, I really looked into homeschooling for that type of thing. We could kind of make our schedule. I could give them more free time. But the socialization is why I just said no. Even now, it's really bugging me. The socialization issues.
It's invaluable. And evident from at least my children being remote learning and being at home. Without that social interaction, their mental health has went down a lot. I believe Ava has borderline depression right now.
Same with Kylie.
It's not good. So.
Yeah, it's hard, and you see them, and especially our girls who are very social. They like their friends. They like going out. And even my 4-year-old is very social. My infant son has no idea what to do when he sees a baby. I took him to the 6-month checkup, and he just looks over at a baby. And I was like, yeah, it's a real baby. It's not the, diaper box. It's a real baby. And the mom starts laughing. She goes, I totally understand that comment. And I was like, right? They talk to the diaper box like it's a child. Or, he's in the mirror and he talks to himself. But yeah, no, it's just so, and, just kind of reaffirm my fears. I know I have friends that are in mutual age groups as my kids. So I know I could, send them that way, but I don't have friends with babies because of COVID. And yeah, the socialization is really apparent right now with remote learning. And then public school in general, we have different schooling experiences. all of our kids are in public school. My kids are A through F. And your kids are what?
My kids do not get letter grades. They have standards-based grading. So basically, Ava's always told that your grade will be a 1, 2, or a 3. That you should never really expect a 4. But maybe you might be exceptional and you might get a 4. And this really, really has bothered me, especially this year with remote learning, because I don't know how she's doing. I can't look at it too and see, well, what does this mean, basically? Because I'm not the teacher, but also the teacher's not there, really, to explain
we have
to
different
her.
remote learning too. Yeah. Where like Kylie, if she had that grading, it would make sense because they are in person, but on the computer, right? So the teacher is constantly looking at her. The class is constantly together, but it's all on the computer. We have the same time we log in, same time we log out. Where isn't Ava like kind of do as you go type of thing?
She has a schedule, so she has live classes, but she doesn't really have to participate, I guess, in a way. It's not it's just hard because there's a lot of communication that we have to do, that the parents have to do. And I'll get emails saying, oh, I'm going to have your child redo this. They've got a 1. I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, why? Did she miss all of the questions or did she miss half of them? Well, come to find out, she would literally miss all of them, or, maybe she would get them right. Like in math, if she gets some of the questions right, but she's not doing the work right, well, then she would get a 1. If she can't show her work the way that he showed her, then the question's not right.
See, that always bothered me. Yeah.
It's hard for me to evaluate. And I get the benefits of standard-based grading because it's kind of like a mastery thing. It's a good way for teachers to evaluate like how well they've progressed. But with the whole remote learning thing, there's just so little, very little one-on-one time between the teacher and the child. Yeah. And I don't know what any of this means. And there's not been really any direction for me to, figure out what these evaluations mean. So
that would be hard. I mean, like for us, like her teacher will post a video and if Kylie has a problem, I can just watch it with her and help her. And because they post a video how to, her teacher literally will walk them through each question, which I think is awesome. She turns the whole camera down and, writes it out because they're all at home now. And it's really great. And then it's a polar opposite for Parker, Some of his teachers are amazing. I love them. And then other teachers just bark at them. He had one of his teachers gave a lab assignment every day of the week. Each lab assignment was 7 pages long. When the kids complained, he goes, well, the last one's 9 pages, so they're not all 7 pages. I was like, oh my, I would have thrown something at him. But I'm just thinking, what do you expect? Who has time for that? He has 7 classes. And then you guys can't go anywhere, so you can do this homework. What the? No.
And it's hard because I think back to being a student, and when you're working through these things, you usually have questions. And come on, let's face it, they're at home.
Baby is not happy.
Well, it's all right.
Well, even worse, the baby monitor in here isn't on because Chris was working during the day and I have it off. So I'm pretty much around Jasper all day. So I heard him screaming from his bedroom with my headphones on and you talking. Son of a bitch. All right.
Hopefully
Regroup.
Christopher, nice
present.
Something in his, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go away. All right. Take 3.
So, and also, these kids are at home in their own rooms, in their own environment with enormous distraction around them. I mean, especially my house, especially your house, where there's multiple siblings on multiple devices, listening to multiple teachers with multiple things going on. There's a huge amount of distraction. So when you have a teacher that just shoves all this work at you and expects you to do it on your own time with very little ways to, with no repetition or no way to ask questions, that seems a little unfair.
It's hard. Yeah, it's really hard. And so you have all like the homeschool parents. I've seen it in my mom groups that they're just like, we're used to this.
Yeah.
They're like, this is our life. This is our livelihood. And, so many of us are going to them with questions like, okay, so this is the problems we're having. We have no support. Some parents, I have support for most of my kids, but other parents don't have the support because there are teachers that don't like what's going on, and they take it out on the kids. So I do feel like that's kind of becoming a problem with public schools. It's just, man, they really kind of...
Teachers are getting jaded and worn out quicker and just more in general.
Yeah, no, my daughter's first teacher this year, Kylie couldn't get into the classroom. She was having a lot of problems. She ended up in some other classroom. And so I emailed the teacher like, hey, this is what's going on. She called me at 8:30 at night complaining about how hard it was for her, complaining about how her kids were going to school in her classroom and she's expected to teach all these kids and no one knows how to use the computer. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm a mom of 4 and I have a 4-year-old upset because her preschool's closed. So come at me. I was like, how dare you? One, calling me at 8:30 at night, like as if I, come on. Maybe that's the old school person in me. But if I don't know you, don't call me 8:30 at night.
No.
And number 2, she instantly, when I said, hi, this is Tabitha, starts yelling at me about how hard her life is right now. And I was like, you feel better? Right? Do you feel better? Did this make you feel better? Anyways, some other issues happened.
It's like, I get it. Like, I get it. I feel bad. I feel bad for teachers. But you can't take it out on the students. Yeah, you can't do that.
Just let them, And then, I don't know. And then I've looked into, private schools.
Cha-ching.
That's
all I hear.
I mean, and I was friends with somebody that went to private school. I mean, it was a religious school. So in my eyes, that's private. And he hated it. He hated that school. He ended up getting switched to public school his junior year of high school.
Again, there's the pros and the cons. Private schools are usually small.
Yeah.
They usually, I don't know if it's because they're small. I don't know if they use different curriculum or different things, but I feel like the graduation and college rate of private schools is probably higher.
Yeah.
So maybe parents think that the education's better.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't. All the research I did was homeschooling and public schooling.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. Let's see here. First private school. Yeah, because, I mean, that's the other thing. It's the money that private schools cost. I cannot do it.
It is a lot. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I mean, kudos to you if you can afford that and you have your child in private school. That's, no shame in that whatsoever. Like I said, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
And maybe, like I said, maybe private schools do something a little differently. And, if that's something your child thrives in. But if I were to put my child in private school, I don't know. I think they might be a little miserable.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at it. I mean, there seems to be, the religious background. Religion is big in or in private school and homeschooling. Class sizes are smaller. The ideology is different than public schooling. There's more specialty programs. And other than, college preparedness.
A lot of college, a lot of education, but I feel like they're also sometimes less focused on athletics. So again, it's like, what does your child thrive in? What does your child benefit from? Yeah. What do you want for your child? Mm-hmm. If you want your child to go to college on a football scholarship, a private school might not be where you want them. Yeah. But who knows? Depending on the area, maybe. But
I mean, we played 2 private schools this year. We beat both of them, football.
I don't know if any of the private schools around me have, like, anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, I mean, it's very, I think in general, I mean, what you want for your kid. Mm-hmm. Do you want a more religious-based study? Then, homeschooling and private school are going to be your best bet. It's not going to come from public schools. Public schools are more science-based, and so religion is, step aside. We're going to respect all religions. But other than that, I don't know. I like the more freeness of public school, right? As a kid, you can dress as you want, it's oftentimes
to an extent, there's obviously dress codes and
watch what your t-shirts say. Can't wear certain things.
I just read an article. I got in trouble in high school for some of the things my t-shirt said. But anyways, I was just reading an article, a local article, and it was from 1970, I believe. And it was the high school that we went to expelled 2 boys because their hair touched their collars.
What?
I was like, wow. I was like,
talk about change of times. Crazy. Yeah, my neighbor's son
they were expelled.
God.
And these kids made, they protested it and everything, and then eventually the dress code was changed. But
that's crazy.
I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, a public school, our high school that we went to. I feel like that's nuts.
I mean, kind of funny. I wore a bar t-shirt to our public school and never got in trouble until my last week of school. I was like, what? Where's Sarah? I think all you did was wear band t-shirts, right? I mean, you didn't have...
Yep. I wore Queens of the Stone Age.
I like them.
Logo was an egg and a little spermie going in the egg.
Yeah. I mean, better than Nirvana.
I wore that, and I got told to go to the bathroom and flip it around. And I literally looked at them and I said, this is science. This is biology. What are you talking about? I was like, it wasn't even that bad. But I was told not to wear that shirt again. So,
I think you may have had a marker on your back. They didn't like your brother.
I never got in trouble otherwise, but no. I got a lot of looks. Oh, okay. We know who you are.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I thought it was always funny because I had friends that got in trouble for their shirts all the time. And I'm like, I'm literally wearing a shirt that's talking about a bar that their logo is a bullet shooting across. So there's a bullet shooting across my chest, and it's just writing bullet bar or something like that. I got it from Goodwill. I thought it was a cool shirt.
Did not look like a bullet.
And never. I wore it for over a year. Never had an issue until the last week of school. And I'm like, really? Really? I wear this at least once a week because I think it's hilarious that y'all just don't pay attention. So, yeah. No, and I do have a problem. Like, public schools, the hair issue. The hair issue, especially
There's
people
always
of
a
color.
hair issue with public schools,
That
I feel
burns
like.
me. Yeah. Don't tell me how I can wear my hair. You know, somebody being told they can't have dreads. And I'm just like, really? I don't understand. I don't, the dress code bans them from wearing dreads.
Or
especially
hair
if it's
too big.
public school.
I remember there used to be comments like if someone's hair was too tall or too big,
Yes.
then they would be told that it was a distraction and they needed to, correct that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, come on, it's public school.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. I mean, especially,
You need
in
to get
my
over
school
that.
district, they have a choice. But they don't have a choice where they go to school. They have to go to school by law. And some of them don't have the option of homeschool or private school. It's just, as long as they're not offensive.
You are to teach the public. That is it.
Yeah.
No matter what they
Move
look
on.
like, no matter what they wear, just teach them and move on.
Yeah. Get over it. If you don't like their hair, don't look at it. I colored my hair every color of the rainbow and never got in trouble. So my daughter's not supposed to have colored hair at her school. Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because I had dyed my hair very unnatural colors while I worked there. And I was like, wait a second. I think they're pretty lenient unless they are not a particular fan of you.
Yeah,
So,
favoritism. Yeah, that's not. That's everywhere, though. I think that'd be private school, public school. I mean,
I don't know. I will say, and I might get some heat from this, I really don't care because this is her last year. My big problem with public school is a favoritism. A principal got wind of 3 students sexually harassing a fellow 2 girls. Terribly. Things they said were terrible. I was told to shred the referral because the student's mom was the PTA mom.
PTA makes the school run, dude.
PTA mom was pissed. She was pissed at the principal. And because I ended up just going straight to the teacher, told the teacher went straight to the parents. Bypassed everything. But that burned me. 2 girls were sexually harassed in front of the entire lunchroom. Then I find out this isn't the first time. And the boys think it's funny. They're like, what's the big deal? I'm thinking, you're talking about what bras they should wear and how short their shorts should be and where you would touch them. You think that's appropriate? And yeah, the principal just, didn't care because of who their parents were, how much money they bring.
That would be a big swing towards homeschool for me.
That's when I looked into it.
Yeah, that's one thing that you can, you can protect your children from creeps like that. You would
hope the school would.
But then it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because, especially with society these days, it's a he said, she said.
Yeah.
And for every person that would believe one person, there's another person that would believe the other.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how it was for them. The only reason that I caught it was because I was walking by and I heard them.
Yeah.
Had I not walked by and heard them, I would have had no idea, and then I figured out the girls by just looking at their faces because they were clearly upset. They were just tears in their eyes, red face, just upset. And then I talked to them without the boys knowing. And, it was so, and there was other things, a kid tried to kill my son and nothing happened there. But, that burned me. No child should be harassed like that and have the other kids be put on a block because, the high pedestal because their parents put money into the school.
Yeah.
I guess that's where private school would be better because they all put in the same amount of money.
Yep. That's where private and homeschool. Yeah. And then you get the whole, I used to clean a middle school and I would clean words like, you're a whore off of the toilets. I used to find barf bags in the bathroom because there was like a bulimia pandemic for a hot minute in the middle school. So you've got negative aspects of the social interaction between so many immature children, but there's also a lot of positive there. You just have to base it on your child's experiences, your child's school, where you live, what you as a parent are comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing, more schools are stepping up and trying to protect the kids on a whole different spectrum, with the sexual harassment, with eating disorders, with mental health in general. It's not, mental health isn't behind closed doors anymore. It's very open. It's very out there. Whether that be the good thing or a bad thing, it's still hard to tell right now. But yeah. And so there are many schools helping, but there's still the other schools that are just like, well, it's not our job.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with it.
And I understand it, but when my kid is on that school ground, it is your job, right? In my eyes, it is your job. You should be taking care of the kids.
Known.
Yes. Yeah.
Aware
don't hide
to
them.
all parties, and then make a plan to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's be real. We listen to murder podcasts. We listen to podcasts about morbid things.
I am a morbid weirdo. I just listened to Morbid today. I love them.
Yeah,
so
I was
much.
listening to it too.
It was all about Sarah's too. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I felt terrible. I was like,
Sarah dies.
Aww. But yeah, you listen to these and you hear of these characters that were never corrected at young ages. Never corrected. And then they go on and do far worse things. Some behind closed doors, some out in the open. There was a kid that was constantly sexually harassing another girl. The girl got moved out of a different class. Same school, by the way. The girl got moved out of the class. He then went on to middle school. He was expelled from the district because of how he treated women. He went into the girls' bathroom. Tried to expose, it just was this rabbit hole of disgusting behavior. But it wasn't corrected at a young age. While on school grounds, like his parents, whatever, they would correct it, but they can't correct it when he's not at home. Right?
Yeah.
He's home, they correct it, but when he's at school, it was allowed. So mentally, you have kids that are like, well, I can do it here, so I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Eventually, they're going to do it anywhere. They get some freedom and it's not a good thing. And yeah, you have to, I don't know. I like the approach of, the whole village mentality. You have your teachers, you have your friends, you have your family, you have you raising your child. And it takes all of you to create this human that's about to go into the world, right? We all have a huge impact.
It needs to be open. It needs to be raw. It needs to be real. And it needs to be non-judgmental.
Yeah.
It needs to be all out there.
Yeah, no, we have to stay open and communicate. I love the weekly emails that I get, the check-ins, if my daughter's a little late. Same with my son. High school's a bit different. They have so many kids. But I did, if you go to the parent-teacher conferences and, it is nice when the teacher knows you're a kid. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. In my case, it was a good thing. My kid's a good kid. He's a little, he's a little comedian. So but yeah, and just stay open. You see your kids struggling in school. Talk to the teacher. What do they see? What do you see? Kind of think about it, and my 4-year-old has a complete mental tantrum and just completely loses it. Oh, well, I just changed decorations in the house. So she's probably a little traumatized by the change, and go from there. Our kids are such little angels. You have to keep them that way, right? I mean, I have angels, right? My 6-month-old didn't just try to throw himself out the crib.
I mean, they have the face of little angels.
They are really cute.
The
We have to keep them
spirits
cute.
of little jokesters.
Yeah. And then, oh man, then there's, the whole social aspect of like the groups. Do you control those groups, right? Do you overstep your boundaries and jump in full steam? I don't. I really don't.
No.
I probably should, but I don't.
I try to be the parent that monitors, but is also like not shoved out.
I don't hover. I'm on the side.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I remember Parker was going through this phase where he was going to like house parties. But then were house parties like, I know. At least I thought.
Still terrifying.
Yeah. And I hated it. Right? I hated it. And eventually he stopped going. And then he told me why he stopped going. And I was so proud of him. But it was because we kept this open communication where I didn't try to shove, but I didn't try to go away.
Yeah, you didn't completely just ignore it.
Yeah. And then even with my 10-year-old, hey, I noticed you haven't been talking to so-and-so for a while. What's going on? And then getting the whole story and then kind of, talking with her on how things could go differently and stuff like that. And with school, it's a whole different beast. Because then you had to request your child not to be in a certain class with another child.
Yeah. And you get that call from the principal, and it's like, your child and another child were cussing at each other in the hallway, or getting in an argument. Ava's not really one to cuss, but I was like, yeah, just let him at it. I mean, the principal's like, what? I'm like, did they hit each other? No. I'm like, well, just let them get their feelings out, is basically what I said.
Let them talk it out.
And
as long as they're not harming.
That wasn't the right answer, I don't think. They were not, apparently. But I was like, just let them get their feelings out. It's fine. It was a one-time thing. It was a one-time thing.
Well, okay. I had the whole assistant principal, and this is probably because I have a big red X on my back, which will probably be much larger now if this gets out to them. The assistant principal called and then forced Kylie to have therapist meetings at the school because of her choice of music.
Well, that's all Christopher.
I was like, well, one, she thought it was funny because, as we talked about in the last podcast, Kylie is just all anime. All anime. She's very offended if you say it's a cartoon. She will try to throat punch you. She's very passionate about her anime. So anything that has more of like a anime vibe, she tries listening to. So she was listening to this band and sending the songs to people. And evidently they thought she was going to commit suicide. And I'm listening to the song, which wasn't actually telling the person to commit suicide. And then I also sing a Streetlight Manifesto song that talks about not committing suicide. So like,
I mean, I used to listen to Linkin Park, and when I was
still do.
Yeah. I think that sounds a little depressing. R.I.P. Chester, but you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, and I mean, that's kind of something I said. I was like, I mean, I listen to music that openly talks about these things. And I will tell you firsthand that we are a very open family that talks about depression and anxiety. I suffer from a severe form of anxiety. And my aunt isn't here because of that. I also had a friend commit suicide. And we're very open about that.
It's a very real thing.
Yeah, and I was like, so she's not joking about it. She's not making it a funny situation. She's sharing the song, saying this is literally, they asked, what are you listening to? And she sent the link to the video. it wasn't her saying, you know. So I think that was kind of overstepping, especially when I was like, no, I don't feel she needs therapy. Let me talk to her. And then, no, we want her to talk to the school psychiatrist.
It's like they immediately think that there's something wrong with her. And I get that they're like trying to cover all of their, you know, cover it all. But I feel like that would also scare a child.
Yeah,
you know,
now they're not going to talk about their music.
Yeah, now like it means nothing. But now they're like, oh, I'm not going to share anything because they're going to blow up again.
Yeah, and I mean, like Kylie was like, what am I supposed to listen to? This music that talks about dancing without clothes on? Touche. How many 10-year-olds do you hear listening to WAP? Way too freaking many, which is far worse than the crap anime music she was listening to.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some WAP, but it is not for a 12-year-old. It is not for a 10-year-old.
So catchy.
It is for this 30-year-old mama.
Yeah, who's
driving around alone in her car, about to pick her up some wine from Walmart.
No kids are in the car. It's just us.
Nope.
I mean,
or me and my husband. I love it when we're driving around. I'll crank it up. Roll the windows down. Andrew's like, what is going on? He's just like, his face gets all red and he looks at me and I'm just like,
okay, listen, Andrew, all you listen to is Rush. Move on. I love you, but no. Yeah, no, I had to get at my 4-year-old to not listen to Lizzo. She was telling the Google to play it. And they're like, well, you listen to it. And I was like, because I listen to it doesn't mean you can listen to it. You know, and then it's this age-old, what's appropriate for the kids. I'm not having them listen to Kids Bop until they're 18. Okay, I listen to all sorts of crazy music. I mean, so did you. Your dad's all about the music. So is my daddy. And yeah, I probably listened to songs that weren't very appropriate, but
Salt and Pepper. I was way into Salt.
Oh my! I listened to Janet Jackson, Sarah. Janet Jackson. Have you listened to her albums? Because I have as an adult, and I'm like, dang, girl, why were you listening to that? Why were you singing that? Because I sang those songs. I'd be vacuuming. I think I was like 8 or 9, and I'm just singing to Janet.
I mean, I knew every word to the thong song in 5th grade.
Yes, girl. I had the album. I had the album. Come at me. I did. Oh, that was
at
so...
School recess. Me and my friends would sing that whole song.
Yes, it was the...
Crazy.
Or DMX. DMX
the
came out
you get away with at public school.
Yeah. School dances, man.
But the things you don't get away with during public school.
Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
It's so crazy. And it's so different now. You have like one spectrum where they just let it all loose. They don't care. As long as you're not killing somebody, it's all good. Then you have the other spectrum where it's like hover. Mm-hmm. You better be straight little angels that are walking. And I hate that line that they draw on the ground that you're supposed to walk on. Maybe I drank too much wine. I get not running. I get not running. I get walking behind your peers, but really on the line. Because you have some people that are like, no, your feet are stay on this line. It is one in front of the other. And I'm like, we are not drill sergeants, people.
We're children.
One, you don't get paid enough to be on that level. And two, they're just babies. I mean, not all of them. You know, some of them are taller than me. But let the kids be kids. Right? When you only get 10 minutes of free play, come on. Which is far worse.
To eat lunch.
Yes. Oh my gosh, my 4-year-old, when she goes to public school, will never eat. She'll come home ravaged. An hour for breakfast this morning. You know what it was? Pop-Tarts, because this mom was not doing well. I was feeding oatmeal to a 6-month-old that just was throwing his food, and she got Pop-Tarts.
At least she ate.
An hour. And she just enjoyed that Pop-Tart. She smiled for every itty-bitty little bite. Now, public school, if you do that, you ain't eating. She would have eaten a crumb of that Pop-Tart at the time.
You get 15 minutes on the dot. You get 5 minutes to get your food. You got to eat, and then you got 5 minutes to put your plate up and get back in line.
And then you're in that, do you train them? Especially Emmy, Sawyer, Veda. Do you train them to start eating quickly for lunch so that when they go to school, they're not starving when they come home?
I mean, my
whenever
children
school
are
goes back.
like ravishers.
Yeah, they kind of clear plates.
Yeah, very quickly.
Kylie does too, and a lot. Do you know how she eats fruit snacks? Do you? Because it's ridiculous. She throws the whole thing in her mouth and just puts them in her cheek. Lets them melt and slowly chews one at a time. Our kids are weird. Or at least mine. I'm going to blame the daddy genes on that one.
Well, when it comes to school, I think, I don't know. I think it's all preference. I think it's regional.
Yes.
What does your area offer? What are your public schools like? What are your private schools like? Can you afford private school? Are you home and able to homeschool?
Yeah, and don't take reviews on schools with a grain of salt, because you could have that parent that was just angry that their kid didn't do well because of one teacher and leaves a terrible review. Look at reviews, look at testing scores, look at teacher salaries, look at teacher retention, all of those different things before, if you're moving specifically and you want to move to an area with a good school, look at those things, because there are many public schools that just are amazing. But it is.
To your students, talk to your child's teacher.
Yes.
Always communicate, because
yes.
I mean, I know teachers have a lot on their plate and they don't have a lot of time, but I feel like communicating with them helps them help your child.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. We went to Texas in August when school was remote, and we just stayed in the hotel room and drove around. We didn't get out. And I emailed all the teachers and told them, hey, just a heads up, my kid is in a whole different state, but they're still going to be online. I had 4 of my son's high school teachers respond to me. 4. Talking about how awesome it was that, he was getting to go somewhere and not be stuck at home, but also still learning. And they were giving him a break, but they weren't telling him. They were only telling me. And I thought that was good, And then when I had the parent-teacher conference 2 months later, it was already a good rapport with the teachers. They already knew who I was because they remember that email I sent, and I was like, well, of all the 200 kids, that's a little weird to me, but I understand. So, just be open with them, hey, and if something's going on at home, I know I've said that too. I mean, especially with our 4-year-old, things change, and the infant. I've told teachers, hey, this went on. They may be groggy, and I'll get an email. Yep, they were, thank you for letting us know. Now we know why. Mm-hmm. So, it helps. It helps all around. Mm-hmm. All around. You never know what a kid's going through unless the parent tells you. And sometimes, the parent's not going to tell you. Just be the parent that tells people.
Yeah, be open. Again, it's about being part of that village. You have to communicate. Mm-hmm. You have to be raw. You have to be open. You have to understand that it takes more than just you. Yeah. To help your child thrive.
And they need more than you. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the knowledge. We try where we can, but our teachers are really there to educate our kids. They teach them more things than we can. And if you make sure that you have that open communication, you have that connection, your kid's going to excel, just have faith, whether you homeschool, private school, public school, this remote learning that a lot of us are doing. Just communicate with your teachers, and kid will have a great year. Hopefully. I mean, mine is now, but
yeah.
So, well,
yeah.
I don't know. What are your all's thoughts? And as always, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if anyone out there has any experience with public school versus private school, homeschool, whatever, just let us know.
Yeah, email us, winemomspod@gmail.com. Add in your funnies or fails. Funny fails or wins, and we'll definitely put those on the pod.
Yeah, we will feature you. And if you have any idea for a future topic, a future episode, or something you'd like us to talk about, please send it our way.
Yes, take care, mamas. Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.